Hello everyone and welcome to Formula Racing League's late night series finale down at Kyalami. We've just got the final 5 minutes of practice left. The drivers just getting their setups in. As Clark breaks in front of someone there, it's quite dangerous. Just getting the setups in, the final practice laps before the qualifying session begins. And we'll just quickly run through the championship just so we know where we're all at coming into this one. So the championship has already been decided. Robinson has taken the championship already, but it doesn't mean there's nothing to play for, because this is one of the drivers' favourite tracks and they'll all be vying to take the final win and bragging rights for the final race of this late night series. And they'll especially want the confidence going into the 8 hours of Indianapolis on Saturday. First of a kind event for Formula Racing League on PlayStation 5. But that's Saturday. This is now. And to start off with, we've got Ghost Assassin currently doing the fastest time in the Lamborghini, 142.5. But just in behind them, in the 911 McLaren, just 5,000th of a second behind, and De Silva also in the McLaren in third, still within that 1/10th of a second. Got Hutchison in the Mercedes, that black and white Mercedes there, a very nice liveried car. Clark very quick in fifth in his iconic yellow and blue BMW. Yakinen had a fantastic performance on Taco Tuesday, finishing in second place. Great result from them. They'll be hoping to build on that one. As they come across the line there, can they improve? Yeah, they do, within 2/10. It's a good lap. Ajewski coming round. A fantastic right-hander there. Very wide, just about loses the rear end, keeps it under control. We're currently running the 7th fastest time. El Prentice, again, coming off a fantastic Taco Tuesday series. Won a couple of the races this year in that series. We'll see how they do in this finale. And Jay Prentice also makes it in tonight. Very wide all over the place there. Just missed that one. Keeps it out the wall. Welcome to the party, Jay. ACB in the 52 Audi. All within a second. Top 10 within a second. Very close. Glover in a Rau BMW. Captain Sensible in the Ferrari. Andy Gator 80. That's a great name. Andy Gator in that white and red McLaren. We have CJ Jackson. Also in the same liveried car, same colours there. 3 seconds off the pace. Moody 6.5 seconds off. We're joined by Spanu as a latecomer there in the Aston Martin. Great to see Spanu here in the yellow and blue Aston Martin. Yorkshire Micker has made the field as well in the Porsche. And we are joined by T1SR's own Advantage. Made the lobby. Hopefully they will be able to solve their connection issues that they've had and be able to make the end of this race tonight. So let's talk a bit more about this race. So for those who are unfamiliar, myself included, except for a couple of disconnections there, hopefully they can get back in. Yeah, hopefully. Oh, everyone's leaving the lobby. What's going on? Well, server's been reset. Get ourselves back in. Let's wait for the server to be reset. My apologies. That should be us ready now. So let's quickly go over the format for
Green
this
light.
evening.
Give it all you can.
Once I find out what the format is. So we're going to have a quick qualifying session. Very quick qualifying session. Hope everyone can get back in. 7 minutes for the drivers to go out and set their best possible lap. And then we have a 45-minute sprint. There are no mandatory... There is one mandatory pit stop where you can choose to refuel if you have to refuel. The tyre change is not mandatory, however. Disconnected again, what's going on? Apologies everyone, but technical difficulties with the server this evening. I'm sure we'll get on in a couple of seconds. Just hearing some potential issues with the server this evening. It may lead to the cancellation of tonight's race. We'll see what happens in the next couple of minutes. My apologies if you joined to tune in this evening.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Right, we're on back on just now. I'm not going to touch anything. I'm just going to let the server stabilise itself. We'll have to reset the server again because it has been reset with a full 1 hour practice session at the start, which is obviously not what we're looking for. So when we do get underway, there will be one mandatory pit stop for this evening, where you will have to put fuel in the car. The amount you put in the car and what you do with the tyres is completely optional and up to the drivers, which will lead to some potentially interesting strategy choices. And we'll just go and watch car number 23 as they go around, as I'm pretty sure the server is about to be reset one more time as we watch Vantage do a nice lovely little power sliding into the wall, and the server's been reset as he goes through the wall. Oh dear, what a fantastic start to the finale. Hopefully we'll get some fantastic racing underway for you all.
Green light. Go, go, go.
There we go, now we're set for 5 minutes of free practice, 7 minutes of qualifying, then our 45-minute feature race. Hopefully we are good to go this time, and I am going to do just a couple of quick changes just to get my camera controls back. Just bear with me. There we go, camera controls back, fantastic. So let's have a quick run through the field, the ones that are released in the lobby anyway. Jay Prentice there in that green and pink. We'll try and remember who is in what car. ACB in the black and yellow, Audi the 52 car, Da Silva in the 55 McLaren, Yorkshire Micker in the blue Porsche. I'm going to call them PT because I'm not quite sure who they are. In the 911 McLaren, the gold McLaren. Vantage back on the track already, very keen to get to grips with that Aston Martin. El Prentice in that burnt orange Lamborghini. Fantastic livery, that one. Ghost Assassin also in the Lamborghini. The purple and yellow and pink iconic livery, of course. Moody in the McLaren. Clark in the blue and yellow BMW. Hutchison in the black and white Mercedes. You've seen that one already with the skulls painted on it. Very cool. Jackson, CJ in the white BMW. Glover in the Row Motorsports 324. Andy Gator also in the white and red. McLaren, Majowski is joined very late there. Also in the sort of teal coloured Mercedes. Captain Sensible at the back in the Ferrari, and the Akinen has re-entered the server. We've seen them do very well in practice earlier on in the 909 Audi. So let's jump on board car number 23, Vantage, who is going to be the first one to do a lap this evening. We'll follow them as they complete it and just get an idea for what kind of challenge the drivers are in for tonight. As Vantage just gets a little bit on the grass on the exit of Cheetah. Round the final turn now, we'll come on board. As he comes down the starting straight up through the gears up into fifth. You want to pin the brake down round about the 100 metre board there, hard on the brakes, get that car turned and just clip that apex. Drift out, don't go all the way out there because you need to not hit this yellow curb on the inside, that's a trap. Try and get the car turned in, just misses the apex there, Vantage. Bring the car over to the left hand side for the fast sweeping right hander. Turn number 5. Swing it in, try and hit an late apex. Don't run too wide, the curb can unsettle you, and again harder on the brakes at 50 metre board with another late apex. You just want to kiss the curbs on the inside here, they can't unsettle the car. As you'll see here, again just on the white line. Hits the curb, gets a little bit unsettled, runs a bit wide, keeps it on the track within the white lines. Up over the hill now into the hairpin, aim for the tree in the background, turn the car in. Let it drift out, but not all the way out because you want to keep the power down. You don't want any oversteer coming down there because you want to get all the power you can for the exit down the hill. Enter the flat out left-hander, spot your braking point about 100 metres from the corner, trail brake in, just misses the apex there, a little bit of understeer for Vantage. Now we come to the second to last round. Cheetah, you need to watch, you do not mount that sausage on the inside. Hard on the brakes at the Marshall hut on the right hand side, turn it in, careful on that curve as it unsettles the car. A little bit of oversteer for Vantage as he comes across the line to set the first lap off this evening in qualifying, a 1:43.7. Decent effort from them. Turn the audio down there, it's pretty hard to hear. Thank you very much for that comment. Hopefully that's a bit better. Maybe it was the onboard camera as well, not helping the situation. What we'll do is we'll turn the engine down. That should make it a little bit easier. Thank you for the feedback, guys. Any more comments you have, obviously, please just let me know. And we're watching Yorkshire Micker come round here now in the 333 Porsche. Spots the brakes for the last turn, gets it turned in. Just a little bit wide, hopefully they won't lose that lap. No, Drew, thank you. Micker, Yorkshire Micker did not get the lap in there. Nobody's put a lap in yet, isn't it, free practice after all. But Yorkshire Micker going invalid there on the final turn. Car number 24 still coming round, that's M. Clark. We've seen them in practice, they were very good. The 24 car now coming across the line, and we don't know what they got. Let's have a quick look.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Clark went second fastest, and they'll all rush out of the garage to get out on the track first. And it's ACB comes out first, and they're all very close, and the Audi goes all the way across the white line to get out of the way, avoiding the accident. That could have been a close one, and we're not even started yet. Vantage has got out in front though, like he did in practice. They've got the gold McLaren there just in behind them. PT, one of the favourites to win this one this evening, and they're followed by that gold Audi. Vortex cheering on the buddies, number 55 and 333 this evening. Number 55 Da Silva and the 333 Porsche of Yorkshire Mercury representing RC UK this evening. They'll be looking to put in a good show for this one ahead of the Indianapolis 8 Hours, which is happening on Formula Racing League on Saturday. Tune in at 2:30 on this very same channel. You'll hear my voice at the start. And the race will start at 3 o'clock, green lights at 3, and they'll be racing for 8 hours well into the night round Indianapolis, and I hear it is going to be very warm for the drivers in that one. So that's an endurance race. They'll need to take very special care of the tyres, lots of strategy options available for them. But that is on Saturday, and we are here tonight for the late night series. Now, I know qualifying is short and you've got to get your lap in, but these guys would be better just giving each other a little bit of space. Hopefully, maybe PT will back off a little bit as Vantage gets on the sausage, bouncing up and down. And the demonetisation has gone. It's contextual, there is a sausage curb. And Vantage goes to start his lap. And PT has backed off just a little bit. And just in behind them, the number 52 Audi. And Da Silva there at the back. High Vortex again. That's good to hear. Glad to hear everyone getting in the practice of the Indianapolis 8 Hours. Really is a first of its kind event here at Formula Racing League. So let's just jump back on. It looks like Vantage has went invalid on the first lap, which means they might start being shown the blue flags. We're going to jump on with the McLaren. Sorry guys. There we go. But as we can see, we're on board with this McLaren. It's all over the back of Vantage, and Vantage is not giving way. It doesn't look like they're on a hot lap. So we'll just come on with this first lap. Vantage gets out of the way now. And that's going to let PT get a clean run through Cheetah. Kisses that apex absolutely perfectly. Runs onto the curb on the outside. As he comes round the final corner now, over the rumble strips on the starting gear, through the gears. Sets the provisional lap time of a 1:42. Let's see what the others can do. ACB goes faster. 1/10 up. Da Silva crosses the line next and goes in provisional pole. Hutchinson in second. The times are going to start coming thick and fast now. Who's next to come across the line? 713 Ghost Assassin in the Lamborghini goes just a second off the pace. Majowski goes into P6, 6/10 down. 324. The 324 car does not set a lap time. They must have been invalid. Next round is the 46 of Moody, who looks like they've came out that final corner very slowly. Sets a valid lap time, 6 seconds down, but they're on the board, and Jackson goes just in front of them as well. Number 4 comes round to start their next lap. Well, that was a thick flurry of lap times, and Moody just pulled off to the side to quickly get back to the pits to start their next lap. Prentice coming across the line now. Quick time, only half a second off pole, and the 678 Jay Prentice, the brother, coming through in 9th. Yorkshire Micker, the other RC UK member, racing tonight, see what they can do in that Porsche. 4 seconds down off the pace, probably just a bank or a sight or lap. Oh, and I'm sure Mr. Naisbitt won't mind me saying a preparation lap. A little bit wide there from Vantage, hopefully he kept it within the lines. Can he set a lap time? No, he went invalid again. He's under pressure now. He's got to get the next lap time in, or he could be starting from the back. Spanu now in the Aston Martin. Let's see what they can do. Just coming around Cheetah there as well. Hard on the brakes again into that final turn. So hard to get the car turned in there. The car just wants to push wide on entrance. Spanu comes in, goes into P11. Decent lap from then. Jackson's coming around to do a second lap. They'll get one more lap in after this one. 50 seconds left to cross the line. Jackson goes into 12th. Number 4 car just came round and did not improve. The 43 of El Prentice. Prentice coming to set his second lap time. Can he improve? He does. He goes into provisional pole. It's a great lap from them. This is the one to watch. Fast in practice. PT in that gold McLaren. Potentially the next car across the line to challenge. They have this fantastic onboard shot. And a little bit wide. Keeps it within the white lines. That will not violate track limits. As he comes up to the line now, doesn't improve. P8. Wojciechowski in, and they've got Clark as well just in front there. We'll see what times they can do as they cross the line. Clark's yet to set a time. This will be the last chance. Goes into P10. Vantage did get a lap in at the end there. Spanu's going to be the next one to cross the line. What can they do in their final hot lap? Up into, does improve only to P12. And the Gator now. It's a fantastic name. The Andigator. And does improve, but does not make up a position. Car number 43, Prentice, coming to just force the issue through. Does not improve. Does improve. Takes another second. Yakinen's put into P2. Great lap from them. And the last car across the lane, the 678 car of Jay Prentice, comes into P9. So that's qualifying done, and let's quickly run through the order. Prentice with the fastest time, a 1:41. That's El Prentice, the 1:41.870, the pole time. Just over a tenth of a second ahead of Nyakinen, who once again puts in a fantastic qualifying lap. 1:41.992. Da Silva representing the RC UK team. 1:42.2, another couple of tenths behind. In fourth we've got Majowski and Ghost Assassin in P5, half a second off that pole time. Hutchison in sixth. In the Mercedes, representing the FRL admin team, ACB in seventh. PT will be 8th, Jay Prentice in 9th, and Vantage will round off the top 10. So that's the top 10 all within 1.2 seconds. That's quite a close field. Got Clark in 11th, Spanu in 12th, Glover 13th, Andy Gator 14th, C Jackson in 15th, Yorkshire Micker in 16th, struggled to get a good lap in there, a clean lap. Moody in 17th, and Captain Sensible being very sensible, maybe thinking of the carbon footprint, only doing one lap in qualifying. But we'll see how they can come through the field during the race. And I'm going to use this time just to take a short break very quickly to get myself a drink, and I'll be back with you in a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. Hello everyone, I am back. Thank you for waiting there. We've got 2 minutes to go before El Prentice will get us underway with the formation lap. But until that happens, let me take a couple of minutes just to go over what's coming up next with Formula Racing League, as this is the final race of the season. The late night series closing the season out. So, up next on Saturday, as I mentioned already, we have the 8 Hours of Indianapolis featuring driver swap teams. First of its kind for Formula Racing League, and first of its kind really on the PlayStation 5. We'll bring commentary to you from 2:30 tomorrow, on Saturday, on this very same channel. And we'll also have the qualifying session tomorrow evening, which will be very similar to Formula 1 with several qualifying sessions and drivers being knocked out. It will be something to watch. Starting the 9th of July, we have the summer season. That's season 10 of Formula Racing League's season, and it starts off on the Sunday, the 9th of July, with the Super Sprint Sundays by Pure Sim Gear. Then a couple of days after, on the Tuesday, the 11th of July, Taco Tuesday Season X will start again, and we'll bring to you as well late night series Season 4 on a Thursday evening, starting at 10:30. So something for everyone on Formula Racing League. If you're interested and want to get involved, have a little look on www.thesimgrid.com and check out Formula Racing League there and how to join their Discord for all the information.
20 seconds.
So we have 20 seconds to go. The drivers hopefully all managing to press drive in time to make sure they don't start from the pit lane, unless of course that is the plan. 10 seconds to go before Prentice gets us underway. Nyakinen will start just alongside in the 909 Audi. And there should be time now for us to get going. It's 1 o'clock local time here in South Africa. 45-minute race, 1 mandatory stop. We'll see how these strategies play out. The Silver's going to be starting in 3rd. That will be a fantastic start. Race for them before they're very quick. Majewski in 4th. Assassin, who didn't have the best Taco Tuesday finale, but they've got themselves up into P5 for qualifying. We'll see how that one goes. Hutchison again representing the admin team here at FRL. Starting 6th, ACB in the Audi. The Audi runs very good round here. And PT in the gold McLaren in 8th. Prentice in 9th. Vantage 10th in that blue Aston Martin. Clark in 11th. Spanu, Glover, Andy Gator, CJ, Yorkshire Micker, Moody and Captain Sensible on the rear of the field. No one has elected to start from the pit lane this evening, and Prentice very aggressively getting those tyres up to temperature. It's not that cold. 25 degrees air temperature, 34 degrees ambient. The cars have been running all evening. It's a very rubbered-in track. They should give good grip. We're here at the height of the day. It's in the southern hemisphere. This is their winter. It still manages to get track temperatures of up to 34 degrees. What a place to race. This is the view on board with Da Silva, looking at the back of Niakinen's Audi. Got a lot of nationalities there in the top 5 as well. Everyone represented there of England, Finland, Portugal. A lot of extra nationalities represented here tonight. We've got some Americans in the field as well, Clark, and I've even got people from Yorkshire in the field as well. Now come through to the last couple of corners on this formation lap. Prentice very concerned with getting the tyres up to temperature, weaving very aggressively. Niakinen seems to want nothing to do with that. Maybe they're thinking they're not going to be changing their tyres in that pit stop, but we'll see how it goes as we now bunch the field up at the start of the grid. Coming round Cheetah now. They'll need to show that curb a lot of respect. Round the final turn now, turn 16. Prentice on the left. Right now, Prentice now on the right. Niakinen will be on the left. Just in behind in row 3, Da Silva and Majewski also looking very racy as we wait for the green flag. And we are green. We are away for the finale of Formula Racing League season tonight. And Niakinen's got a fantastic start, just pulling ahead of Prentice. Niakinen at first into the corner, takes the wide line. Niakinen gets round. Prentice playing it very easy. You've got to watch through the back there. A lot of drivers getting very close as they come through turn 1. No contact so far. Captain Sensible just makes touch on this Yorkshire Micker spun. Moody and Captain Sensible not very sensible through turn 1 as we need the driver tracker just away, but it looks like Niakinen is now out in front. Prentice in second, Da Silva in third. And I'm going to stop trying to guess and I'm going to let the driver tracker do its thing. Hutchinson up into P4, P5 sorry, all over the back of Majewski, but up front there's a battle going on and Prentice is all over the rear of Niakinen now. As they come through the field, goes to Sasa and is very close through there. That's Vantage, ACB, and that's Clark just making the move up the inside, and they come into the hairpin now. Clark leaves the door open, and then they touch side by side, a little bit of rubbing on side by side there. But Niakinen is the one who's out in front and made the fantastic jump off the start. Prentice in second. Da Silva looks very racy there in P3. Jay Prentice getting a little bit wide as they came through the corner at the bottom of the highway. We've got another Audi off the track, 3 abreast into Cheetah. That will not work. And this contact, Spanu hits the rear of Glover and into the wall, and that's going to put them at the back. And we've got the gold McLaren of PT sideways coming through Cheetah as Andy Gator goes through, and already PT into the pit lane, going to clear that pit stop, but after lap 1, it's Niakanen out front. Prentice in second. And they're still battering hard, and they're so close through there. That Mercedes looks an absolute handful as Majowski runs wide. Hutchinson goes through, up into P5. Ghost Assassin, where have they came from? Great start from them. They were Ghost and they were an Assassin. Very sneaky, but Prentice now all over the back of Niakanen. Niakanen having to go defensive, and they get very close to touching there as they come through the S's. It looks like Prentice may have the better line coming through there. Just keeps the position. Niakanen feels the need to go defensive once again into that hairpin. Let's go back and see how Vantage is doing in P8. ACB in 9th. Clark still 10th. Spanu, after hitting the wall, did not elect to pit. Andigator in 16th. Yorkshire Micker again not electing to pit, and PT is either given up for this evening or is fixing a lot of damage. But let's go back and rejoin up at front, because Prentice is all over the rear of Niakanen. You see the Audi, however, in the straight line is a match for that Lamborghini, and we've got a drive-through penalty. It goes from bad to worse for PT, who has been caught speeding in the pit lane and will have to go through it one more time. Ghost Assassin sets the fastest lap, coming from nowhere in the shadows. Another close battle going on here. Let's just stick with this one just now for a couple of corners as they come round Sunset Curve, and Vantage onto the curb, gets a little bit wide and loses the rear, and in the wall Clark just misses, and they're all having difficulty getting out of the way. We've got the Round Motorsport BMW going off the track. Vantage holding the brakes, that's what you're supposed to do. Let the cars find their way around you. Vantage, be careful reversing there, and that's Yorkshire Micker going through. The track is now clear and they can get going. That's a lot of damage from the Englishman there into the wall. He'll need to get that one back to the pit lane as we'll rejoin the battle up front. Niakanen again needing to go defensive. Prentice all over the back, and De Silva biding their time, but they can't bide for too long because Ghost Assassin is ready to pounce. These front four, I think, are going to be very close, but Niakanen again put in a defensive drive. De Silva thinks about a move up the inside. And Prentice has spun. Jay Prentice has lost the rear. That looks like an accident. There's also a Mercedes at the back there. That, I think, is Hutchinson also having an issue. Oh dear. All gone pear-shaped. Apart from these four up front. We've got a yellow flag out for car number 2 as well. CJ in the wall. That looks like another accident. Do not reverse out of there. Oh, just makes it. As PT now clears the drive-through. But I don't think that these guys, CJ, etc., are going to be the last ones. As the move thinks it. Prentice round the inside of Sunset. Niakanen got the inside line. I think there may be a little bit of contact as they come around Clubhouse. Now Prentice under pressure from De Silva up front, and there's a little nudge on the rear of Prentice. Prentice just keeps it on the track. There's these four, not a lot to choose between them. And now Ghost Assassin round the outside of the hairpin, thinks about it. De Silva still on the inside. These two are now side by side as they come down the hill. Lamborghini power round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Hard on the brakes. Great car control by Assassin. De Silva will think about the little old switcheroo and try and get the better exit. Niakanen and Prentice almost flawless up front. What a burst of action this first couple of minutes has been. De Silva down into P4, Ghost Assassin up into P3. with the fastest lap, and that is something that Prentice and Niakanen will need to be concerned about. Clark, J. Prentice, Vantage and PT all now clearing their pit stops. They won't need to be in the pit lane again unless, of course, they find themselves needing to be in the pit lane again. But we'll see how that one goes through there. And what a first couple of laps we have had. And I'm going to take this couple of seconds just to get my breath back. Spanu, after the accident there earlier on, up into P9 now. That's a decent recovery. It could have been a lot worse. In that lovely yellow and blue livery. I think we decided we're going to call that the Fallout livery. It's gone back up front again because Prentice is all over the back of Niakanen through the hairpin. Niakanen's got the inside line, should have a better exit out of there. Both of these cars very quick in a straight line. There won't be one clear person who has the pace advantage, and they get close. The Audi a little bit twitchy, Lamborghini just on the grass. Again, thinking about the old switcheroo, as the Audi gets very high on that inside curb. And you cannot go two abreast through Cheetah. You'll need to tuck that one in. And the Silver's off. The Silver gets high on the curb, on the sausage. And that's opened the door for Majowski to think about a move, but the Silver just holds them off. Prentice, Assassin and Niakanen still go through 1, 2, 3. The Silver defending from Majowski. Both of these cars look like a symphony of evil in their liveries. The jet black McLaren just keeps ahead of Majowski. ACB in 6th. Hutchinson in 7th after their spin. Captain Sensible up into P8. Sensible drive from them. Spanu in 9th. Glover is 10th and the Gator 11th. Yorkshire Micker still out there with that damage in 12th. Thought they would have jumped into the pit lane. Clark has done their pit stop and ahead of Moody, who has yet to pit, and again very high on that curb. J. Prentice down the inside. Controlled move. Good stuff from Prentice, job done. Next up the road for them is Moody. No, it's not, it's Yorkshire Micker. Niakanen still out in front, it looks like, just putting a little bit of distance between himself and El Prentice. Assassin in 3rd and De Silva now 3 seconds behind. Just keeping that Mercedes in behind. That car looks very stiffly sprung through that fast left-hander. There we go, and Prentice very wide there. And again, Niakanen feels the need just to hold the defensive line through that final corner. It is working for them. Front 3, a second between the front 3. This is fantastic racing. You would think that these 3 are fighting for a championship, and the championship winner is not even here tonight. Why would you be? You've won. Have a night off, have a beer, have a Domino's. Hutchinson now bearing down on the back of ACB. Yeah, I'm just keeping one eye on this and one eye on the battle at the front, because it could go at the guys at the front runners are now coming to lap C. Jackson in the BMW. So we'll just jump to that just now. Niakanen still out in front, gets very high on that curb again. That Audi looks very stiffly sprung as well. That Lambo looks very loose on the exit of the S's, but again, just Niakanen feels the need to defend, and that will be costing them a couple of tenths a lap. But this is the bigger issue for them now, as the Lamborghini looks to use the toll to pull out potentially the move here. No, not a move this time. We'll think about it on the next lap. The one thing Niakanen will be thinking about is get this lapped car out of my way. Still a little bit far behind. Again, just a little bit defensive. Just for good measure. Tell you what, Prentice looks a lot closer to the back of Niakinen this time. But the speed of that Audi is just so quick down that straight. The two Lamborghinis second and third on the yellow bulls on parade. And the BMW just staying on the racing line. Oh, that would have been close. That's opened the door now for Prentice. The lapped runners getting in the way of Prentice is not going to put it down there. That's a disappearing area. That's the zone of danger. The cone of death. You cannot put your nose down the inside of Sunset, but you can go around the outside of Clubhouse. Prentice gets the foot down alongside now into the S's. Niakinen's got the inside line. They'll need to be careful. Prentice gets a little bit out of shape, and that's going to demote them down into third. And Ghost Assassin will now have their chance to put the moves on Niakinen, who is driving an absolutely superlative defensive race. But we've seen the pace of Assassin. They're deadly, they're stealthy, and they are thinking of a surprise move down the inside potentially here. It looks like they've got the pace, they're catching. But that Audi's so good on the brakes. Niakinen's so high on that curb. As that purple Lamborghini glints in the sun. Niakinen again will just for good measure think about putting it defensive, and that looks to me, if I look back the way, De Silva has made the move up into P3 ahead of Prentice as well. De Silva with the fastest man on track. Also now into the podium positions. As we see Ghost Assassin just closing the gap in the slipstream. Trail braking from the Audi, covering the inside line for one more lap. Let's try and give everyone a little bit of screen time here. Captain Sensible up into P8. Running a little bit of a lonely race on their own. Spanu just slowly now beginning to catch. But ACB and Hutchinson very close with each other now. ACB just on the curb there. They takes a slightly tighter line than Hutchinson. Using all the track. And just behind these two, I think Spanu is now caught up to the rear of Captain Sensible. But we're going to quickly just jump forward to Assassin again. They come into the overtaking zone, not quite close enough this time. Come back to Spanu and Captain Sensible. These two are close on track. They come on board with Spanu in the Aston Martin. Putting the pressure on number 11 blue Ferrari. Fantastic bravery through Cheetah into turn 16. You just see the closing speed off that Aston Martin. 144.3 for Spanu as he crosses the line. We'll just double check here as he gets the slipstream, but that Ferrari is absolutely rapid in a straight line. Look at the difference on the brakes though. The Aston Martin really able to put the anchors out and slow down. Keeps it round, Cheetah in control. It looks like we have lost vantage to a disconnection. Now down in P18, 6 laps down in the pit lane. All the hallmarks of somebody who's left the server and came back in. Now technical issue. Spanu just sticks the nose up there, thinks about it. You can see them really interested now in the back of this battle. We've got a car in the pit is still advantage, and Spanu thinks about it into the hard braking zone, the right hander of turn 13. They come through Cheetah again. Spanu very close to the apex, thinks about it, close enough now to make a move down the inside. Has to pull out of it as the Ferrari just turns in. Good driving from the two of them. As we have a look at this leading pack once more, we have Niakanen after 10 laps as we approach 20 minutes racing, still out in front. Ghost Assassin in second, and Da Silva, after initially dropping down to fourth, has worked their way back up into third with the fastest lap. We'll need to see just how that comes out for them at the end. Prentice in P4, who's put in a fantastic showing this season, they really have. Majowski in the 174, the Pro Class driver, putting a steady showing. That Mercedes is not the greatest car for this track, but they're really proving that one wrong tonight in P5. Hutchinson, who got involved with a little bit off a spin, in 6th, and just going round the lap car now, the lap BMW off CJ. And ACB is just in behind them, looking to get around the lap vehicle too. We'll make sure they get through safely. And that looks... no, they didn't take the apex, to be fair. Captain Sensible still defending from Spanu. And these two are just as close as ever. Spanu is carrying a little bit of damage from that spin earlier on as well, which is a testament to their driving. We'll see if they make a move down the inside here. Are they going to go? No, not this time. Not this time. Glover is in P10. Prentice has came into the pit lane, removed himself from that leading battle, now in some clear air. Potentially a fresh set of tyres, maybe, some fuel. We'll see what that does for them, and if that triggers a burst of pit stops from the front three. Yorkshire Mickers also finally now went into the pit lane. That's then we'll see where they come out, because they had a bit of damage if I remember correctly. Need to go back to that battle. It looks like Niakinen's a little bit wide, coming out off the hairpin. Ghost Assassin just biding their time, and we really am interested to see if that early pit stop from Prentice, who does normally like to go long. They do normally prefer a long first stint. And we'll see if that surprise pit stop. Nope, these three are holding their nerve and not allowing Prentice to dictate their strategy. And that's another lap in P1 for Niikanen. And Spanu now very close. And Sensible's ran wide. And that's allowed Spanu through up into P7. Providing they get around Cheetah okay. It's a great move from Spanu. Can Captain Sensible use that Ferrari straight line speed to get themselves back in front? Yorkshire Mickers came out about 25 seconds behind Jay Prentice. That's not the worst situation, considering the damage they received earlier on in the race. Spanu, I think, is now just going to slowly eke away from Captain Sensible. It looks like they're struggling a little bit out there now, all over the back of the track. Another thing that's all over, speaking of things that are all over, Ghost Assassin now right on the back of Niakanen, looks to get a fantastic exit. That Audi's tyres might be struggling now as we get to about half distance. Will Nyakanen now think about coming into the pit lane, or will Ghost Assassin, knowing they have the pace, think about coming into the pit lane? So this is now drawing Da Silva back into the fight for the top three for this final race here at for Late Night Series at Formula Racing League. Nyakanen misses the apex. Now that is going to put them under pressure. That is going to allow Ghost Assassin a run here.
We are at the
Oh, it
halfway
would.
mark. Keep pushing.
As they come through the halfway stage, as Jeff tells us, our virtual mechanic. And that straight line speed of that Audi is just keeping Nyakanen in front. Couple of bad exits. We come to another. This is another lapped car. This is Moody, I think. Yep. Moody in the 46. McLaren, the AM class driver. We'll see how they respond to the pressure of the blue flags just in behind them, as they've got the three leaders approaching, and they let them through on the outside of a turn. Not the most experienced move to do, but that has allowed Da Silva to close now onto the back of Ghost Assassin. Could we be seeing a move here? It's been all Ghost Assassin applying the pressure. Assassin goes defensive. That's going to give Da Silva a great run out of the hairpin. As they come now down through Mineshaft, the flat out left-hander, into a corner called the Crocodiles. So we've got Andigator and we've got the Crocodiles. It's fantastic, you couldn't make this up. Through Cheetah, and they're all three still line astern. Prentice now having to fight their way through the cars who are yet to pit, and this is something I experienced on Taco Tuesday, taking the early pit stop, trying to get through the cars while keeping the race pace up. Because there is no blue flags, this is for position, and there is no reason that Ferrari has to dive out of the way. And Prentice goes alongside and they touch, they make contact. That's a frustrated figure. Prentice has cut in, they go side by side into Cheetah. This is going to be very dangerous. That's put Captain Sensible onto the gravel. But that has put Prentice up into P7, but they will have a slight bit of bodywork damage now, so we'll see if they're able to keep their pace up as we carry on. Front three, they're still doing the same thing. Majowski kind of having a little bit of a boring race out there on their own, but solid, if anything, and P4. ACB in 5th, Hutchinson in 6th. Prentice is the first of the lead drivers who has completed their pit stop. Sensible has not completed their pit stop, neither has Glover in the 324 BMW. Clark has pitted, as has Prentice, Jay Prentice, as has Spanu. Yorkshire Micker about 3 corners behind Spanu in that Porsche, and the Gator a further 4 seconds behind them. CJ still going over the top of the hill. I don't know what's happened, they had a bit of an accident earlier on. And PT have all pitted and had a drive through. Moody in the pits, and Vantage is also retired. Now it looks like 10 laps down in the pits. So let's jump back onto this leading group as Da Silva is 0.3 of a second now behind Assassin. Is the field just beginning to get spread out a little bit now? Is Assassin's tyres just going off? Has Da Silva kept the tyres in? As Nyakanen now sets the fastest lap of the race. Finally free from pressure, not having to defend thin air. Puts in the fastest lap, showing that they do have the speed that they promised during qualifying and free practice. So let's have a little look at the onboard with Da Silva as they run just a little bit wide there. So through the essays on the curb, that McLaren takes them beautifully. That suspension set up very nicely. As we look rearwards from Ghost Assassin, we'll just see how close the silver gets. Here's an interesting fact for you guys, everyone watching. Ghost Assassin plays with a controller, and they're this quick. Let that one sink in. The silver not making any inroads this time around. I find that incredible that they're able to do that speed with a controller. Nyakanen just going through the lapped car off Moody, who's out of the pits, I think, just made the pit stop. And I think Assassin gets through as well, fine, as does Da Silva. Maybe held up a little bit there, but good driving from Moody. That's what you like to see. Sportsmanship, letting the leaders through. Prentice is not that far back, maybe about a sector behind, and been through the pit lane. Let's see if we can try and work out just exactly. I'm going to get the stopwatch out here just to see what gap they have. So let's come on board with Nyakanen and see where they are just now. So they're coming up through into the hairpin. Around the hairpin now, I'm sure there's a white line across the track coming up, which I am going to use to track this gap. And I'm going to start the stopwatch there, and we'll just see how long it takes El Prentice to catch up through that gap as well. So currently at 12 seconds. Going through the pit lane, even if you're just doing a quick bit of fueling, is going to take you maybe 60 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 10 seconds of fuel, 40 seconds. Maybe 40-45 seconds to get through the pit lane. Prentice, it looks like, I may get this wrong, I may have called this one wrong. Prentice is 37 seconds behind Nyakanen, who has not pitted this time. Neither has Assassin, neither has Silva, and neither has Majewski. And Prentice now only 5 seconds behind Hutchinson. Sensible still out there, going round. We'll see if they're able to come out, where they come out after their pit stop. Glover putting in a solid performance. Not really seen too many incidents with them so far. Let's just join on to this battle at the front. I'm very interested now because Prentice only 38 seconds behind this front three. Going through the pit lane, going to cost you about 30 seconds plus whatever time you take to put fuel in the car, which is going to be in this track anywhere between 10 to 15 seconds of fuel. If you change tyres, that'll be 30 seconds. So assuming these three only take fuel, the front three only take petrol when they go in to take their pit stop, my calculations have them coming out behind El Prentice. El Prentice will take first position, but that is just in theory. That's not in practice, so we'll need to see just what happens now. And Prentice is going to have to, has came through the field. They do have cars in front who have yet to pit. Now I don't have anyone else going into the pit lane just now either. Come on board with the leader. Just onto the back now. I think that's Yorkshire Micker in front. Nyakanen has got that Audi well under his spell. Prentice now comes across that line, and again I just want to keep an eye on this gap because this is definitely going to unfold. This is an interesting one. Prentice taking the early pit stop into clear air initially, and then had to get through the traffic. But potentially on fresh tyres makes them faster. So again, we'll just time Nyakanen as he crosses the sector line. We can't have to lap some cars as well, so I want to keep with this battle again to see just what happens. We'll cross them as they cross the start line. We'll stop the start watch then. The cheetah there, again, so in control. Nyakanen really has improved their driving as of late. They've been absolutely rapid, almost flawless in the last couple of races they've been in as they cross the start finish line now. And I've started the timer and we'll see now just where Prentice comes out. Flashing lights there from Ghost Assassin to thank Yorkshire Micker for getting out of the battle. Great driving from Yorkshire Micker as well, that's what you love to see. Hello Lewis, thanks for joining us. Good to see you watching, taking the night off with your trophy. You're very welcome. I'm looking forward to Saturday as well. Indy, of course, that's the 8 hours of Indianapolis that we mentioned now for the 4th time this evening. And these two at the back getting very close to Silva now, all over the back of Ghost Assassin. Maybe a little mistake by Ghost Assassin. I've completely forgot about the stopwatch because this is just so enthralling. The Silva really, if you've not watched the Silva race before, they represent RC UK, Race Club UK, and they are an absolute force to be reckoned with in that championship. And they are putting a team together now. The Silva, Yorkshire Micker, and I think there's a couple of others taking part. And if you're watching this, you are going to see a fantastic drive from that team because this man is in that team. And I'm going to start the stopwatch now. As Nyakanen just on the grass, coming out of Cheetah, that'll cost them a little bit, but they do keep it pointing in the same direction, thankfully. That'll be good for them because they've done so well so far. And that's the timer started now, so I'm going to just quickly come back to El Prentice and see just how far they are behind. We do think it's somewhere between 40 to 45 seconds to get through the pit stop if you're just taking fuel. We've had a few others I think now take their pit stop. Captain Sensible, Andy Gator, Jackson. Yes, Vortex, thanks for reminding me you're part of the 8 hour team. Also very fast driver.
What's the 8 hour?
The 8 hour race, the 8 hour race in Indianapolis. That's 37 seconds the gap now between the leaders and El Prentice who's pitted. This one's going to come down to the wire. I could see Nyakanen, Ghost Assassin and De Silva going to the last lap to get their pit stop in. And no, I'm not going to start plugging Sky Glass. You can come on board with any driver. Yep, so on one side here we've got the FRL admin team, Lewis Robinson, S. Hutchinson, and I'm sure there's another couple that I've forgotten about. And they're looking like they have it in the chat, having a little bit of friendly sparring between them and RC UK. That'll be a good one to watch to see who comes out on top of that one. But that again, that is Saturday. This is now. This is the race you want to see because Prentice, somebody else has pitted, somebody's got out of the way. Is it Glover? Glover's in the pit lane, they're 2 laps down. That can't be right. Come towards the climax of this race. You've got Yorkshire Micker coming down the starting straight now. Glover just in front. I think Glover's going to keep the position just now, but these two are now the closest battle on track. Yorkshire Micker and Glover fighting each other. That was very close, and you think that one is close. Oh, somebody's left the server. What's happened there? Someone's gone. Someone's had to retire. Who is it? Nyakanen, Assassin, De Silva, all still there. ACB's now in the pits to make their stop. We'll see if Hutchinson can get out in front of them because they were very close on track. That's just a quick splash and dash from the Audi driver. Hutchison coming round the final corner now. ACB on the exit of the pit lane. That's ACB, the 52 car, has retained that position. Yep, that's ACB. Still out there in 6th. 6th place for them so far. We'll see what happens up ahead. Spanu just beginning to close now on Jay Prentice. We'll keep an eye on that one as well. Yorkshire Micker on the tail of Glover. This is a great recovery drive from Yorkshire Micker, who was facing the wrong way and in the wall on lap 1. They have fought it back. We're having a couple of retirements, but they've made a couple of great moves as well and some solid consistent lap times. I've seen them now rejoin the battle for 12th place. Now looking rearwards from Glover's rear wing, the 324 Row Motorsport car. BMW using all the width of its rear to keep the equally big bottom Porsche behind. These front three still at it, still putting in relentless lap times. And these three battling, they don't know it yet, but I think it might have given the lead to El Prentice in the 43 Lamborghini. That yellow bull is absolutely charging. So we're now just 6 minutes left off this race, just under 6 minutes. And the tyres now have been going for 40 minutes. They will begin to get a little bit second hand. So hopefully now all the drivers can keep the car pointing in the same direction. So let's start the stopwatch again as we cross the line. There's Niakinen now across that line to start lap 24 of 24 in the lead. And we'll just stay with Prentice. We'll see how they're driving on board. Very close to that sausage and gets a little bit out of shape on the exit. The burnt orange Lamborghini going for a code brown moment. 38 seconds now is the gap. Yakin has put out a little bit of a gap, but the silver has pitted. The silver's pitted and came out in front of Prentice. Maybe that pit lane is not as long as first thought. That's an interesting one. How quick was the Silver's pit stop? So, Ghost Assassin, what's happened? What's happened? We've missed the lead change for the lead. Assassin is in P1. Yakinen's in P2 and Yakinen must have run wide somewhere. We've missed that one. And Ghost Assassin takes this opportunity to jump into the pit lane. Yakinen goes round to lead another lap. Technically speaking, they've still led every lap this race. But that cannot be good news for Yakinen. And Prentice is ahead of Majowski after Majowski's pit as well. How's Yorkshire Mickle getting on? Still all over the back off the Row Motorsport and Glover. So this has now got really interesting. We'll see, will these two come out? This is going to be close. Ghost Assassins came out. just in front of De Silva as well. So Ghost Assassin reacting to the pit stop from De Silva. A little bit of a buffer there actually, a couple of seconds. And Prentice an equal distance back. So that maybe that early pit stop has not worked out for Prentice, but the big question now is A, when does Niakanen pit? As they only have a 27-second gap to second, and B, where will they come out in this battle for the top 4? Because someone is going to miss out on a podium and it's not going to be nice. Clark just closing the gap to Hutchinson now as well. Only 1.5 seconds behind. 2 minutes left in this race and it's coming to a head. Do not go anywhere because we still don't know what's going to happen, because Niakanen has just entered the pit lane with 2 minutes to go. Let's see how quick their pit stop is, because Assassin and De Silva hot on their heels. Assassin just coming around Cheetah now. And De Silva's had an issue. Prentice is in front. I don't know what's happened. They've missed that one as well. Focusing on the leader. But here we go for the lead. That's a lapped car. That's not the leader. Where's Ghost Assassin? There they are. They're so close. Coming out the exit of the pit lane. This is for the lead. Assassin on the racing line. Niakanen's got the inside. Tyres still cold. Runs deep into the corner. And Assassin goes for the old switcheroo. Plays the switch back and gets out ahead of Niakanen. And Niakanen's very deep in there. Needs to be careful. This could all still end in tears. They've got about 1 lap left. This is the last lap of the last race of the season 4 of Formula Racing League's late night series, and it's coming down to the wire. Only a couple of tenths between these two. Niakanen's so good on the brakes, but that's given Assassin the exit they need. We've got a lapped car in front of us now as well. This could all still go holiday on. The lapped car dives off to the inside of the S's just to get out of the way. They don't want the Gauto being involved in that one. Prentice is up to third. De Silva fourth. De Silva's had an issue somewhere and went wide. Niakanen goes too deep there into that hairpin, and that's maybe now taking the pressure off Assassin. Both these cars bouncing horrifically through mineshaft down into the crocodiles now. Very deep, very defensive line. Niakanen's all the way off the track, trying to get the best exit they can. Think about a move into the final turn. Niakanen dummies the move and goes far too deep, and that's going to be Assassin coming across the line now, flashing the lights in celebration of a fantastic race. Takes the checker flag. Assassin is first. Niakanen, fastest lap of the race in P2. Prentice finishes P3, and De Silva has got damage to that McLaren. They've been off in the wall somewhere, and they're going to come home in fourth. Majowski is very close as well, but not close enough. Big enough gap there. It's a stop-go penalty. De Silva's got a 30-second penalty. We don't know why. We'll need to see what's happened with that one. Majowski goes into fifth. ACB finishes sixth. Hutchinson 7th. Clark comes around the line in 8th. Prentice going to be across the line next, just through Cheetah into the final corner, the 16th turn. Going across the line now, and the Gator finishes 14th. Moody in 16th. There's Prentice now across the line, taking the checkered flag. Spanu through the yellow dust in the background takes 10th. Top 10 finish for Spanu after the incident at the start. Great drive from then. Captain Sensible in the number 11 Ferrari, the AM class driver, the top AM class driver, the highest finishing anyway in this race, going to come through in P11. Glover, and it looks like Yorkshire Mickers finished backwards. What's happened there? Oh dear. That's been potentially an incident. We'll see if the stewards have a look at that one after the race. But Glover is going to come home at least to take 12th place provisionally. across the line, and Yorkshire Micker, who has been in the wars today, coming across the line in 13th, the last of the runners' retirements. We have got Moody 3 laps down, PT in 17th, 7 laps down, and Vantage finishes in P18. What a race this has been tonight. I'm going to have to catch my breath because that has just been 5 minutes of drama. The silver's sitting there, it says 30 seconds stop go. I don't know why that is. I don't even think that's supposed to be there. We'll need to see what's happened with that one. We'll see if that comes down to stewards. That's the finishing position, the classified finishing position there. Well, what a race. What a fantastic conclusion to season 4 of the late night series of Formula Racing League. Prentice makes it back into P3 after taking the early pit stop. It was very interesting following their race. De Silva having an incident, it looks like, on the last lap, putting them down into 4th. Nyakanen with the fastest lap, finishing P2, led for 90% of the race. Unfortunately, just couldn't get it over the finish line in first. So that is it for tonight, and I'm going to mention it again just because it's coming up next. We've got the Indianapolis 8-hour driver swap race qualifying tomorrow night on this channel, Formula Racing League FRL on YouTube. And on Saturday from 2:30 will be the main event, the 8-hour driver swap race. We'll be having half an hour of build up and then on to the race at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and there'll be 8 hours straight. We're going to have multiple people in the comms box, but the race will start with myself, and I will see you then. Until tomorrow night and Saturday, have a great time and stay safe. Good night.